And I didn't think we'd be talking that much about Drew Lock coming into this offseason. But honestly, Denver has doubled down on getting him weapons.
Right here.
So maybe not as exciting, but definitely an exciting prospect going forward is Drew Lock, Johnny. And I didn't think we'd be talking that much about Drew Lock coming into this offseason. But honestly, Denver has doubled down on getting him weapons from Melvin Gordon, Jerry Jeudy, and they drafted that other guy too. I'm blanking on his name.
KJ Hamler.
Yeah, KJ Hamler out of Penn State. So I think there are some guys here that they have added to an already kind of pretty good young offense. You look at Cortland Sutton, you look at Phillip Lindsay, even Royce Freeman. Some of these guys that have Noah Fant, who was added last year, they've got pieces
and then they added
over there.
Another tight end. Like they legit had a fantasy draft. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what.
Elway's over there.
Exactly.
So talk to me a little bit about Drew Lock, what you liked and didn't like out of his game last year. I know last year when we were doing our rookie episode, Drew Lock was my favorite talent at the quarterback position coming out of college, just because his live arm, I knew that he was really raw and like he was going to have to do some work, but he did remind me a lot of Jake Cutler in his demeanor. But Drew Lock came in and did some things last year, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Lock to me is a guy that I was pretty excited about even before they added all these pieces. I thought what I saw of him on tape last year was very, very intriguing. I do think that he has a future in this league. Unfortunately, now for him, and kind of fortunately, he definitely has to prove it now. Like the pieces are there. There's no excuses. There's nothing. There aren't a ton of stats, to show how great he is, right? He didn't play a full season. He got injured for the majority of it, was on IR. But you're looking at the very few games that he did play in. He had over 1,000 passing yards. He had, he only had 7 danger plays, which is a pretty low amount. So he's taking care of the ball. He did have 18 carries. So 3.6 carries per game on average. You really like that, including 2 red zone carries. So I think that Drew Lock is going to be a guy that a lot of people are going to be hyped on. You're going to hear a lot of stories, and rightfully so, because why not? He's got all these pieces. They really look to be going all in, as you said. And so Drew Lock should be able to be fantasy relevant, at least on a week-to-week streamable basis. I don't know if I would go all in and say, yeah, he's your every week starter. But I definitely see in 2 to 3 years, the projection is there for Drew Lock to be a solid foundation piece in fantasy.
Yeah, you're looking at a guy that maybe ends up, and I think Joe Burrow is a similar situation, where you're going to have guys 3-4 years down the line. First of all, I think the league is in great hands.
Yeah.
I think we've got some we talked about Kyler Murray. We're going to talk about a couple more players that are involved, but we talked about Daniel Jones. I think the league is in good hands as far as quarterback is concerned and players are concerned. But you could be looking at a guy like Drew Lock 3-4 years down the line, who's the Matt Ryan, the Matt Ryan of this league now, where you get him later and he just provides you great value. You stack all these players. And I think, Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Joe Burrow, these guys could end up being like that for you. They're not going to be the Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray earth scorchers, but, they're going to be guys that are definitely on a lot of championship rosters for sure. So I think Drew Lock's exciting. Whisper Nation should take a look at him and keep him on their radar.
He should easily pass for like 4,000 yards.
Yeah, I just don't see a situation where they're not. Their defense is good. They've still got some pieces, but it's not what it used to be. So I think they will be in games where they're going to have to throw. And I think, they're giving him all the weapons. He's just got to show up now.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Whisperers podcast. You can hear more from John and Travis on Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TF Whisperers.